revival, true moving of God, Holy Spirit at work, miracles taking place, people being healed of their sicknesses, infirmities, people who could not walk, rising and walking. Miraculous. The Holy Spirit was at work. And revival was happening in the city of Jerusalem after the coming of the Holy Spirit. And we read all about it in the book of Acts. It's quite phenomenal. And then we began to see how that God was working through people who were not Jews. These were of other nationalities. And they were not encumbered with all the traditions of the law and of the elders. They just saw the power of God. And they preached and taught the power of God and demonstrated it. You see, that's a tremendous thing, because God is very much alive, and his power that he has given into the church is tremendous if only the church would realize it. And so God was moving. And so we find them in this city of Antioch. We talked about this yesterday. They sent Barnabas up. You remember Barnabas? He was the Mr. Mercy, and he was find him in the early days there in the city of Jerusalem as a part of the church. And Barnabas goes up, and he gives the report back to the elders in Jerusalem. He said, God's doing great things here. And he's seeing this unusual activity going on, because not only was it just the people of the synagogues that was experiencing Christ, but those who were outside of the Jewish faith. And this was a process that this group had to work their way through. And so Barnabas sends for Saul. You remember Saul? The last time we heard about Saul, but he had this tremendous conversion on the way to Damascus, because he was in the process of trying to stop this movement that was taking place. These people who were talking about being followers of Christ, he was trying his best to put that fire out when God got a hold of him and changed him forever. Well, Saul had been isolating himself, and he was just spending time in the presence of the Lord. And he was learning, and he was growing in his faith. And Barnabas sent for him and said, come on, you need to come and help us. You see, this is what I find to be fascinating. This reality of the gospel to all the world and to all flesh, that God was using a man who wasn't even a believer when the Pentecostal fire fell on the day of Pentecost. But see, God has a plan. He has a plan for my life. He has a plan for your life. He has a plan for his church. And remember, he said the church is going to prevail. We're going to prevail. When it's all said and done, the church is going to prevail. This is Pastor Jack King with the gospel on the radio broadcast.